important part that we would be looking into, that might be the real use case from various business domains, right? So here we might see who the creator is. So suppose the creator, that as we are going to be creating a visualized format. So this we would be publishing to Tableau. So based on the different data sets that we have here, so the data forms or the data sources that we are going to publish it in Tableau and make an interactive session. Yes. And then we use these people or the explorers, and then we show them to only view and interact with these set of visualized tools that we have, right? So there are three different users who use them, right? So they are the creators, the explorers, and the viewers. So the creators are people like us who use this Tableau software and make a visualization or formatting these visualized and create a much insightful knowledge based on the data sets and the data source that we have, right? And then explorers are the people who can view and interact with your data, but then they can only save and view them. They have not much privileges as us, as what the data is, what the data source is, and things like that, right? So they can only view them, and they can publish it, save as, and then they can understand how different dashboards must be created, right? And then viewers are the only people who can view them, who can look into it, and then they can't save them or make any changes to your data, or even interact much in a more exponent way than how our explorers can interact them with, right? So the viewers also can interact with the explorers, where you can only view a certain data. So if the data is being saved or copied into a certain dashboard and it is displayed by the explorer, the viewers can still view these and then show the resultant. So then uh, before moving into the rest of the things, let me give you a real-time example. So how do we do in a retail industry? So a major retail chain that is used in Tableau is to analyze your sales data from multiple stores, basically. And by visualizing the data that we have now provided with, they discover that a certain product has higher sales during a specific season or events. So these insights help them to optimize the inventory management. So whenever that season comes up, you know that this is something that might be in more, it should be produced more, because the sales might always be at a very high peak, right? So then ensuring that the right products are available at the right time. So if you, as a clothing industry, if you, for example, if you are a person who might be in a clothing industry, you won't be having jackets, or let's suppose jackets, or let's say raincoats and things like that on a summer season. But whereas you might need t-shirts or polo shirts or shirts such as these on a summer. Basically, the uh, shirts and basically the clothing that you wear on a summer are completely different from what you would be wearing on a winter basis, right? So these are the things that you might be looking into. So then when you know that this is where people tend to buy these things at a certain particular time, you tend to increase those production more, and that's when you start earning profits. So this visualization tool helps you to understand these certain topics, basically. So and then let's say additionally, Tableau enables them to identify your customers preferences and tailor marketing campaigns accordingly, and this might result in improving your customer satisfaction and also might increase your sales, right? So this is one of the example. So let's move for an healthcare sector. So a hospital implements Tableau to analyze your patient's data and to track the effectiveness of various treatments. So basically now we had the COVID, for example. So then they use a visualization tool on to see how much it might affect a certain group of people, and how is it affecting a different set of people. So that's when you start to visualize these given data. So then you show them that these are the visualizations that you need to. So you start analyzing your patient's data. And if you have a pre-medical condition, so what are the things, precautionary measures that you need to take, and things like these. Yeah. So, so after visualization is when this allowed the hospital to adjust to the treatment protocols that we have and improve the patient's care and reduce readmission rates, right? And then Tableau's interactive dashboards have enabled doctors and administrators to quickly access critical patient information and to make them a data-driven decisions in real time. So once you know that, okay, this is a certain group of people that might require a uh, different medications that are there because they might be undergoing something else now. So then you can, from understanding the different outliers basically. So outliers are basically those data sets that might have an exception basically. So then those exceptional cases, you might have to create a different medications for them or provide them with other set of valuable insights from the visualized tool that you have right now. So this is how you could have an healthcare industry go with visualization and how useful it might be. So then Tableau just not just provides dashboard starters for popular line of business application, but it also helps you to accelerate your content authoring. So given a certain raw set of data, it is difficult for convincing people just by showing them numbers. So creating a dashboard helps you and will help your clients to be hooked to what your product is and to view in a very clean and professional format. It might help you also to have a better communication with your clients. So the content consumers can view and interact with the initial use case that you have, and while they ramp up their analytical skills and things like these. Okay, so then the same when you show a certain set of data, customers or your clients can not just view them but can also have their input on what might be required for your product or things like that. So you can show them your visualized format. So after completing some training, the initial use case can become your starting point or the way where you want to point out that this is where we had built and this is our sales or this is where we are going. So you can show the point or the growth in your products, right? So then while you build new contents, you can show that this is where we had started and this is how the growth is going on. So that can be your initial now your visualization it will be. So what are the common use case in departments where is the IT sector basically. So your hardware, software, inventory, or hardware, software. What are the things that might require? So, for example, if suppose a certain company produces processors for a certain computers or chipsets, so basically you can know that which chipset is being sold the highest or which chipset is the most powerful or the most let's suppose the most useful for a certain group of people. So you can understand based on it and then you can make a visualization and then you can understand which is a group of people that have a different view or need a customized processors or chipsets for their certain institute. So then you understand what their demand is. This is how you start to get to know things. And then let's suppose a health desk call a volume a resolution time basically. So then during a help desk when a person calls, how much time are you interacting with a certain person? So the time duration that you have. So who are the people that are mostly involved in interacting much with people and giving them more insights about a certain product that you have. So things like these. And then how do you allocate your resources? So these kinds of things. So how do you want to allocate your resources? So this is one such software that might require much resources that needs to be allocated. So you show them in a visualized format that this is the most increased one. So you must allocate your servers or your cloud platforms to this resource rather than another resource that might not require much of your usage or your resources basically. Then there might be security patch compliances and things like that. Then let's go to the finance institution. As I said, how do you plan your budget and how do you plan your spending? How do you plan what is the savings that you have? What is the account payable? what might be your travel expenses. So let's take an example of a banking. A banking institute might utilize Tableau to analyze your customers' transaction data and to detect the fraudulent activities that might be occurring. So by visualization, transactional patterns and employing advanced analytics, they can identify the suspicious transactions that might take place and take immediate actions on them. And these visualization enabled their fraud detection team to sift through large volumes of data effectively. Rather than viewing those data single individual format, you can just view them as a whole and then understand the data effectively. And this might result in enhanced security and minimalized financial losses. And lastly, let's also look into the another use case is marketing. So while marketing, a digital marketing agency might use Tableau to analyze campaign performances across multiple channels, basically. So by visualizing data from various advertising platforms, they can identify the different most effective channels that are required and optimize their ad spends on a certain campaign. Okay. And adjust the campaign strategies in real time based on what we have. So then we have the engagement between the customers and the clients, and how does the customer wants to market a certain application or a product in real time and things like that. And then Tableau's interactive dashboards allow them to monitor key metrics, basically, with such as click-through rates and conversion rates and these kinds of things, and make them data-driven decisions to maximize their clients' ROI, right? So then we have other things such as human resource, we have sales, we have faculties operations. So uh, so in human resource we have the turnover rates, what might be the headcounts, what might be the new recruits, so these kinds of things. So how many recruits do we need for a certain project? So is this the amount that we have received, or are there more manpower required to have a certain product to be completed? And we also HR can also look into the employee satisfaction. Has a product given same satisfaction to a certain group of people or a different set of people, and things like these. And then moving towards sales, you can track down what is your sales for a particular product, what might be the quota that might be there. And then we might have a pipeline to coverage, what are the different uh, sales that might have occurred for a certain product or for a certain client. And then what might be the average deal size that we might have to shake our hands on, right? So while creating this, you might have to understand the amount of work or the amount of project that is given to you. So is it proportional to the rates that we have, and are we on a perfect deal? So based on your previous explorations of your data, you might get to know a better understanding that this might what you might have to know. And then there might be a win and loss rate. So basically, how much you are gaining and the profit of it, out of it, or how much you have lost or your loss out of it. So these can be your sales in respect to your sales use case for your visualization. And then you can have faculties operation. So then you can know the physical location where these are the places that require more resources that needs to be allocated. Your call centers volume or workload distribution, how do you need to distribute, which place requires more number of distribution or resources that are required. So that's where you start allocating those resources to a certain place. And where that might not be much required, there you can reduce those resources, and you can have an effective solution for it. And then you might have to request your work, and work request might require your volumes and your resolution times. So it's, as I was saying, that how you would want to provide how do you want to provide a visualized format, right? So these are a few of those, as I said. the financial service, where I took the example of a banking sector. So banking sector uses is insurance uses them. Your wealth management basically is done using visualization. So then healthcare industry and life science, as I had given you an example on how in a hospital you track a patient's data and track the effectiveness of a certain product or a certain medicine that you are giving to a certain person, right? So different people will have a different body structures. They might have different uh, different things. So basically, a person may have some other problems in them. So the same medications won't have the same effect as it might have to another person. So that's when you need to visualize them, find out the outliers in those places, and then provide medication based on their certain needs, right? And then the public sector uses visualization, where you might require the state and the local, the federal and the defense, the education and the non-profit organizations all use data visualization to understand a certain given set of data. Then we also are looked into retail and consumer goods, where we spoke about how marketing and advertising a certain product might help. Visualization tools might help people understand a certain product, and then market those products and earn much advantages and provide more insights to a certain set of data. Then we have another industry called as communication and media, where you understand what is the type of communication you have. So for example, your sales. So what is the amount of time a person is interacting with a certain set of people? So what are the things people are hooked on, and what are the things that people try to attract other customers or clients attention? So what are the things that are required? So these are the things that you're building and then showing them in a visualized format. So then there might be, for during manufacturing, you might have to show the industrial products that you have. So what are the things that needs to be manufactured at a certain given of time more than other periods? So then this is what you would be showing them.